Okay, July 3rd, and I think I teased this as kind of a slower day. But I did find a couple of things that happened on this day. And the first one being this is the day that George Washington took command of the Continental Army in 1775. And that in itself isn't remarkable because he was the natural person to take over. He was famous from the French and Indian War, so he was the best known general. So he was the natural leader to take over. But what was really interesting and fascinating was when, after defeating Cornwallis at Yorktown and the British surrendering in 1781, George Washington retired. He left the military. He turned it back over to civilian control. What was remarkable about that was it wasn't uncommon in those days or in the history of the world for the military to take over after winning something like that. So you look at somebody like a Lenin, or you look at even today, there's governments all over the world where it was a military general that led a coup or led a revolution and then just stayed in power. And so that's a remarkable thing about that. The next thing I saw was that FDR in where did my notes go? 1938. In 1938, dedicated a eternal flame at Gettysburg on the 75th anniversary of the Battle of Gettysburg, which ended today in 1863. And then the other thing I found was that this is the day that Ronald Reagan relit the Statue of Liberty. It had undergone a major renovation and was reopened in 1984. So he relit it and rededicated it. Statue of Liberty, of course, was a gift from the French that was commissioned or was dedicated in 1886 originally. It was built by Bartholdi, is the French. I'm sure I'm mastering these names, but Bartholdi, the French artist, is the one who designed it, and it was erected and built by Gustave Eiffel. Gustave Eiffel, also famous for building that tower in Paris. I can't remember the name of the tower, but so Gustave Eiffel built it here, and of course inscribed on it is the July 4, 1776. So that was rededicated in 1984. Now the third thing, the last thing I found was that this is also the day that Jimmy Carter signed the first decree authorizing secret payments to the Mujahideen in Afghanistan to fight the Soviets. So in 1979, Carter signed a secret deal to allow funding to go support Osama bin Laden and others fighting for the Mujahideen against the Soviets in Afghanistan. So that's what I've got for you today. I'll see you tomorrow.